Hello everybody, I am Fuzzy Face. Welcome back to another edition of this Motorsport Manager career. Project Audi, our Audi team, we're doing pretty well. We're still 4th overall. We're trying to chase down Red Bull. I think we've got 4th place pretty much secured. We're 61 points ahead of the McLaren team. Maybe we can get to Red Bull. I don't think we can. They're a long way ahead of us in terms of the raw performance of their car. Mercedes though have taken the top spot from Ferrari. They're currently leading by 21 points. There are 4 races left in the season. It's going to be tight towards the end of the season unless Mercedes just runs away with this. We'll just quickly get into the updates that the other teams have made before we head to Japan, because there's not many of them. Haas have increased their suspension performance. Everyone else, other than Mercedes, who, if you remember, for 2 races ago introduced a new engine, they have for this race introduced a new engine again. So the power unit performance, by far and away Mercedes are killing it there. They do still only have the 4th best car overall though, so hopefully that raw engine power isn't going to push them too far forward, because we do want to have that nice tight fight with Ferrari over these 4 races to go in the season. Ferrari have, even though they've still got the best car overall, they've just recently dropped off in their performance. I think they came 5th and 6th in the last race. Hulkenberg 5th, Leclerc 6th. Leclerc is still currently leading the Drivers' Championship though. He's got quite a healthy lead over Lewis Hamilton. Whether he can hang on to that though is another question, but as it is, Mercedes have got that new engine upgrade. It will filter down to Williams, Aston Martin and McLaren for the next race as well, so they'll be getting that new, I think that's Spec 4, the Spec 4 engine for this season for Mercedes. They've been aggressive recently of going for the engine, obviously feeling that's the way to go to win this championship this year and retain their championship, because Ferrari were in a really good position. But quickly, just before we do jump into the qualifying and the race and so on and so forth, there will be a poll down below in the description. I'll try to also leave it in the comments, but I do schedule my videos quite far ahead, so whether I get to it in time to leave it in the comments. But there will be a poll. It's going to be a fan vote, which you can vote on which team you would like to see get a performance boost for next season. Obviously, I'm not going to include any of the top 4 teams in that, so Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari and Renault are the big 4 teams in this, and ourselves, the Audi team, are not going to be included in this vote, but everyone else, Williams, McLaren, Aston Martin, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Haas, Prema, they are going to be eligible to be voted on. Whoever wins that vote will get quite a significant performance boost going into next season, which should see their car improve, hopefully their results improve. So whoever your favourite team is, whoever you would like to see get performance boost, go ahead and vote in that poll, and then we'll see who wins, and I'll see what I can do to give them a performance boost heading into next season. But as it is, we're going to get into Japan now. It's going to be sunny during the race, which is what we like to see. Brake, suspension, engine. The engine's useful, the other 2 parts are crucial. We should be in for a pretty decent race here, so hopefully we can go ahead and get something more out of it. Last time out in Russia, Vettel got another podium, his 5th podium of the season. I think that he's not too far behind Leclerc, he's been in 13 races, 5 wins, but only 7 podiums, which compared to Lewis has had more podiums but not as many wins, 8-2. So yeah, it's going to be close headed into the final part of the season, and we're going to go over other stuff in the next few races, maybe discuss some driver moves and so on and so forth that might happen going into next season. But as it is, that is what we're going to leave off with here. We're going to jump into the race in Japan. Everything is sorted. We'll just click Audi. There's not much money available through sponsorship. We'll go 744 as we usually do, and we're going to go through practice, which you don't get to see unfortunately, or fortunately. Not much happens in practice, and we'll be back in a second to go through qualifying. So practice is over. Vettel looking mightily quick around this track, under a 1/10 of a second away from Charles Leclerc, who set the quickest time in practice. I don't know if this is going to translate through into qualifying. Van Dorn a little bit more off the pace, look at that, 1.2 seconds behind his teammate. Renault looking strong, Ferrari looking strong. Hopefully Ferrari are strong and they can keep going with Mercedes here. Obviously Mercedes do have that big engine upgrade that has gone into their car. It wasn't a massive upgrade though compared to the last one that they did. This Spec 3 is a slight improvement. It's not a massive jump forward, but it should see them, I don't know, it's only crucial around here is the engine, so hopefully Ferrari, don't mean Ferrari, I mean Mercedes, aren't too overpowered around this track. I don't think they will be, but obviously if we get to places, the Brazil race, USA that we've got coming up, they might be a little bit more power dependent. Mercedes might dominate at those tracks, but you never know. This game has thrown up a few interesting questions, like Renault have got the second best car overall. It's pretty much on a par with the Ferrari car, but they're just so far behind at the moment. It's just a little bit, I'd say a little bit perplexing, but we do know it's down to the strategy that they run most of the time. Sainz is currently fastest in the McLaren. He's gone quicker than the two Mercedes. Have we got both Ferraris out? Not going quicker though. Hulkenberg will come across the line into fourth place, whereas Leclerc, where did Leclerc actually finish up then? Is Leclerc still out on track? Leclerc will come through and will nab sixth place, so slower than his teammate. Ricciardo goes on to pole position after the first runs. Yuri Vips is still out on track as well. He gets himself up into 18th place. Not too bad considering the AlphaTauri car is the worst one on track. As for us, Vettel is in 9th place. Van Dorn all the way down in 22nd. Not a good qualifying session for him. But we've got the other car. Sainz is going back out already for his second run, going out early, which might not bode well for him. The track grip won't be at its best at the moment, but a little bit of clear air for him. Maybe he can improve on his time. We'll just see what he can do before we send Van Dorn out. He's coming on to his flying lap, see if he can go any quicker than his last lap. No, he's way off the pace. It must have just been something about that first lap that saw him get such an increased boost, whatever he got, because we got Lance Stroll up there in the Aston Martin as well. We might as well get Van Dorn out. He needs to improve, try and get him a little bit of clear air here, although we say that, and we've got a Renault coming out in front, and Daniel Ricciardo is currently on pole, he's coming out as well. I'll just spin around. I think Vettel's going to be last out on track here, so I'll just send him out. So no, we've got a few cars coming out behind. I think 18th, that is a Red Bull, that's Alexander Albon, who's currently all the way down in 18th. We'll just watch Van Dorn since he's a little bit further ahead on the track than his teammate Sebastian Vettel. So we'll stick with Van Dorn for a little bit, see if he can go quicker through the first sector here. He does, he's improving. Vettel is currently outside the top 10 now. Van Dorn is pretty close here, although there's only half a second or so split in the top 10 at the moment, so he's not going to be in the top 10, but if you can get inside the top 15, get into 14th, whereas Vettel has improved, but is Vettel going to get into the top 10 here? I don't think we're going to get a top 10 here. 13th, so not the best qualifying session for us compared to what we've been doing in previous races. Obviously, our engine is quite far behind at the moment, and it is something that we've got a front wing that we're building at the moment. Once we get that front wing done, we're going to improve the engine, but that engine won't be done. It might just be done before the last race of the season, but I did want to sort of keep that engine back because that will be the basis for next season's engine. I mean, not the best qualifying session for us. Possibly means we're not going to be able to catch Red Bull during this race. I don't actually know where Red Bull finished up on the grid because I didn't look. But meanwhile, it is a 44 lap race. We can do 17 to 27. That is going to be tight for a one stop. It is going to be really tight to one stop, which means Van Dorn cannot do a one stop around here. We actually came 15th overall. There must have been some cars out on track. We've actually dropped further down the grid to 15th and 17th. So maybe we should get on the medium since we're so far down the grid. I mean, or should we? We saw last race that if we were aggressive with Vettel from the off, yeah, we're gonna have to be aggressive here. We do need to move up the order. We can't just settle and go on the mediums. What is the temperature? The temperature is really hot though, so these tyres are going to overheat. Something shocking. It is definitely going to be a 2-stop race. No, I said a 10-stop race. That would be something, wouldn't it? But anyway, here we go with the qualifying grid for the 2021 Japanese Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc in that prancing horse on pole position. First place, Danny Rick in second in the Renault. Fernando Alonso in the Red Bull third. Hulkenberg fourth in the Ferrari. He needs some improvement. He needs to be strong in these last 4 races to keep that Ferrari seat. Alexander Albon is 5th in the Red Bull. Not good for us to have both Red Bulls in the top 5. Carlos Sainz holds on, gets a respectable 6th place in there. That McLaren. Lance Stroll, an amazing performance for him, getting the Aston Martin up into 7th. Latifi is 8th in a Williams. Magnussen 9th in the Williams. Both Williams in the top 10 here, and then we get Norris rounding out the top 10 in the McLaren. Lewis Hamilton is all the way down in 11th. That new engine not helping them along. I think that is Max there as well. I think that is Max in 13th. Esteban Ocon is 12th. No, it's not. It's George Russell. I look like Max's hair there for a second. Here's Max Verstappen in 14th for the Mercedes. Disappointing for them. And then we've got Seb in 15th. Mick Schumacher 16th in the Prema. Van Dorn behind his teammate 17th. Newgarden in the Haas is 18th. Bottas 19th for the Alfa Romeo. Vips in the AlphaTauri 20th. Perez 21st in the Haas. Not having a good season in his first season with Haas. Giovinazzi 22nd in the Alfa Romeo. And then rounded out the back of the grid, we've got Schwartzman, who I think must have a dodgy neck. He does. And we've got Pierre Gasly rounding out the grid in the AlphaTauri. 24th place for him. I think we're going to, as soon as we sort of start, we're going to... I do like to start in high, but we've got both cars. Van Dorn gets a better start than Vettel, and then quickly switch to this, although we can't push too much on this first set of tyres. And that was 17th, was that? Russell running way wide on the first corner. And we're going to be ultra aggressive and hope to pick up some spots here. We've got Ocon in front of our two drivers. Leclerc has got away well. Alonso's managed to get past Ricciardo on the start as well. Alonso up in a second. Albon has had a good start as well. He's in 4th place. So not good news for us to have both Red Bulls have a really good start. Hulkenberg's retained 5th. Stroll is up there as well. He's managed to get past Nico Hulkenberg there. That is going to be a really strong race for Aston Martin if they can keep this going. They're not the best with their pit stop strategy, so both Mercedes have managed to get up into the top 10. Meanwhile, we've battled our way up into 13th place here, but as we see, the tyres are increasing in temperature pretty rapidly. Vettel makes a move. Can he get past Lando Norris here? Hoping that we can. Is that us up into 11th? It is. Van Dorn currently a little bit further behind. He's sort of losing places. We're going to possibly have to switch and play a bit of a longer game with Van Dorn here, because those temperatures are getting a little bit high and he's not as good on his tyres as Vettel is. So hoping to crack the top 10 with Vettel here, and then we can sort of... And we say that, and that's Norris coming at Vettel. Is Norris going to get past here as our tyres are now overheated? If we can get just past this Williams, and then we can try start to cool down a little bit here as we crack into the top 10 here on what is Easter Monday for me. So it's a little bit of a related joke, because Van Dorn is moving up the order here now as well. Van Dorn is battling with his teammate, battling over 11th place here. I don't think Van Dorn has got... Oh, is he? I was about to say he wasn't going to make that move at all there, and Van Dorn looks like he might have the run on Vettel here down the pit straight. He does. Van Dorn gets himself up into 11th place. Great driving, and I'm guessing that is because we try to cool Vettel down a lot more than we're cooling Van Dorn down at the moment. So it might be a little bit tricky to get up into the points unless we see some of the AI make mistakes with their pit strategy, which we can count on from one or two teams. It does happen. Vettel, meanwhile, is battling away with Van Dorn. I'm not going to use team orders here. I don't really want to use team orders this early in the race, but it's just a matter of cooling down with it. One of the only teams sort of cooling down. I'm guessing everyone else is sort of running hot around this track. The AI may be running a little bit hotter than we are. Oh, and what was that? That was Ocon. Just had like nitrous oxide on his car or something. Just pressed the button and he just flew. Just absolutely flew. So yeah, we're just on a recovery path at the moment, trying to get down to optimal temperature. I don't want to really go in backup mode too much. Is Van Dorn? No, because we don't want to go back up with him. Maybe we'll cool Vettel down a little bit quicker as we just go and have a quick look at what's going on. Leclerc is currently in the lead, almost 3 seconds ahead of the Red Bull Fernando Alonso. Danny Rick is up in 3rd place, so maybe we're going to get a Renault podium. A rare thing at the moment. Shouldn't be a rare thing with the car the way it is. Albon is currently 4th, Hulkenberg is 5th, Hamilton is 6th under pressure from Carlos Sainz, who's still running right up there, managing to keep pace. He's followed closely by Max Verstappen. Then there's a little bit of a gap back to Lance Stroll, who is followed by Kevin Magnussen. This would be good for Williams, although Williams, the car is not as shoddy as it has been. It is a pretty decent car. They are 8th overall. They're just struggling to put it together. We did see they did have a good qualifying session this time around. We have seen that Magnussen has been second on the grid before. It's just not really translated into points. But we've got Vettel cooled down. That, you know, we'll go a little bit longer. We'll get him right into the optimal range until he hits that little line there. We'll just keep him and get him to that point. Van Dorn, he's cooling down a little bit slower, but he's getting there. We're just trying to keep him ahead of Ocon. We know we've got a Aston Martin and a Williams in front. We know where we should be stronger than those cars. Obviously, they both do carry Mercedes engines in them, which are a lot stronger than our engine. But our car as an overall package is stronger than theirs. So it is to try and get them through the pits as we've cooled down now past that line with Vettel. So we'll keep him there. He's managed to keep up even though he was in backup mode. As regards to conserve, it is about trying to get past Ocon now, but I don't really want to push the tyres at the moment. It is all about making these super softs last as long as they can. And maybe we can think about a one-stop strategy. Is the hope, is the dream? I don't think we might be able to do. Vettel is the only one that might be able to get a one-stop strategy going. It is not going to be possible with Van Dorn at all because he can't get as long out of the mediums, his softs. Go for about another 6 laps. He's done 8. We'll take him to 14. It's going to be a little bit tight for Van Dorn. Maybe we should cool him down a little bit more, get him to optimal, then we can turn him back up and get him on the course. And Vettel has managed to get past Esteban Ocon at some point there. We totally missed that as we were looking at Van Dorn. Van Dorn is now optimal, so we're going to get him back up into neutral. He is holding up Vettel here. We won't use team orders, but we'll just try and get Vettel past. We don't really want to slow Van Dorn down and give Vettel the opportunity to have a run at Kevin Magnussen here. Although he's not getting that far away from Van Dorn here, which we would possibly expect. Van Dorn did have a good start. Leclerc sets the quickest lap of the race on lap 12. Or on lap, it was a lap 11. And there we go. Both cars get past Kevin Magnussen. What has happened to Magnussen here? I don't know. It's just going slow around those few corners. Both our cars managed to get past. We're now up into 10th and 11th. So a double points finish is now on the cards here as Esteban Ocon struggling in that Renault. Ricciardo is currently 3rd in the other Renault, doing pretty well up at the top of the order. I don't know what Renault are going to do with their strategy with Ricciardo. It is usually something wacky. Usually something wacky. I'm guessing they're going to go super soft, super soft, super soft. Super soft or something. They should be able to do that. No. If they go 3 sets of super soft, we sometimes see from the Renault team, that would mean they would have to stop again and do 3 stops in total. I don't think they're going to do it. But you never know. You never know with this Renault team. It will be somewhat we're going to conserve now with our 2 cars again. We should be able to get the jump. We're still running in high mode. So we are going to have to recover the fuel with running high mode just to keep pace. It's just a matter of trying to keep these tyres cool. The weather is so hot here and it's going to stay 27 degrees for this entire race. As Van Dorn has a Williams, a McLaren, a Renault all behind him queuing up. Obviously they do have stronger engines than us. That Renault one though has slightly cooled off throughout the season. Renault not being as aggressive with their engine upgrades. But that Williams does have Mercedes power behind it. It is an immense engine at the moment. And as we see, it is Kevin Magnussen putting Van Dorn under a lot of pressure. Vettel has managed to get 2 seconds ahead of his teammate. It's just about cooling down. 25%. We're going to have to start thinking about coming into the pits. These super soft go off at 15%, I think it is. And Vettel is close. So Stroll is on a slower tyre here. He started on the softs. I do think we sort of went with the right option of going aggressive. It has helped us move up the order. We've got some cars into the pits. It is Russell Giovinazzi. Sainz has come out in traffic though, which is unfortunate for him, although he's got a little bit of a gap in front, but he's under pressure at the moment from Pierre Gasly behind, which might slow him down a little. Van Dorn does have to come in a little bit earlier, so Van Dorn's going to come in. He's going to do one more lap, is Van Dorn, and then he's going to get in for his first stop of the race. I think we can bunch him up to push, and set him up for a pit stop. 27 laps to go. I think we're just going to get, because there's no chance of finishing the race on that medium for him. So it will be, we do have to use 2 sets of tyres during the race. Not that the game forces that on you, but I do like to follow real life that we do have to use 2 sets of different compounds during the race. Should we go soft? I mean, it's not that big of a performance. Lost 22 laps. But we want to see what we can get out of a super soft. Maybe we can just go super hard on a super soft. Maybe aim for about 12 laps on this. We do have a little bit of risk, but mainly that is down to fixing parts. And Atakante, though, does have a little bit of risk on changing the tyres. But if we get into the pits with Van Dorn, we can go another lap with Vettel after this, although that might give Van Dorn, as Russell from 20 seconds sets the quickest lap of the race on the soft tyre. I do want to see if we can get another lap after this with Vettel. No, we've got no chance, have we? We've got no chance, but it's a nice quick pit stop for Stoffel. And we're going to push into the pits this time around. Should we follow that? It is on the nose here for this one. I don't think we're going to be able to make that last. It did say we could get 17 out of that. We did get pretty close. It would be right on the limit to do a one stop with Vettel. I don't think we're going to be able to do it though. And we might just reverse the strategy of what we're doing with Van Dorn. Go for the soft with Vettel. No mistakes, a 1.7 second pit stop. Van Dorn is out ahead of Norris. About 4 seconds ahead of Norris and ahead of Magnussen as well. So we managed to leave them behind through the pit stops. It is currently Vettel who's got Ricciardo behind him, who's coming to the pits for another set of super softs as we saw. And it looks like Vettel's just about hit a wall here with those tyres. He's slightly slowing down. Didn't quite make it to the pits. Is that Van Dorn going through? No, it's not. Van Dorn is coming through just about now. We do get out in front of Van Dorn. We get out in front of Giovinazzi as well. I don't think we're going to quite start recovering the fuel at the moment. Van Dorn, we've still got our 2 cars running close together. We did lose a bit of time there though. We didn't quite make that tyre last. We should have maybe stuck in conserve to get through that last lap, but what we picked up in time as Hulkenberg sets the quickest lap of the race. What we picked up in time though was probably equal to the time we lost from pushing that tyre a little bit harder. Leclerc has made his pit stop as well in the Ferrari. He's currently effectively still leading this race. Ricciardo's about 4 seconds behind. He's managed to jump Alonso. Recently Alonso is on a fresher tyre though. He's under a second behind. There's quite a battle going on here. Albon's still up there as well in the top 10, which means we're so far behind now. Might be at the point where we might not even be able to get close to them come the end of the season. But as it is currently the 2 Mercedes who have yet to stop leading the race. The pit lane is pretty short. I'm guessing it's maybe about 18 seconds or so. Pit stop. But as it is, we're getting a little bit too hot on these soft tyres now. We've run a little bit hot with Van Dorn, but we know we want to. It's just it's been sort of slowed down a little bit by Vettel at the moment, but I'm gonna have to go back in. I'll just have to go back into conserve mode at the moment. These tyres need to cool down. Maybe cool off and then give him another big push again in a minute. But Vettel is currently on the back of George Russell here. Was Russell in front of us before the round of pit stops? Did we lose that much time? I'm guessing he was in front of us still. Both Aston Martins in front of us. Man, I've been stuck behind this damn Audi for ages now. Van Dorn complaining. Should we let Van Dorn just have the run at the moment? Since he's on the quicker tyres. I know it's going to make Vettel upset here, but we know we can. We know we're just going to blow through these tyres with Van Dorn and then get onto maybe a medium or a soft. Yes, you're conserving. Van Dorn is on the quicker strategy at the moment. I'm just going to give Van Dorn the opportunity to go for it here. He slows down the Aston Martin, which gives Vettel a run at the Aston Martin as well. We just get him pushing, try and get him past the Aston Martin there, which he manages to do. So that worked out well then. It let Vettel get past the Aston Martin. Van Dorn. His tyres are overheating now though. We will let Vettel have that place back towards the end of the race if they're close together, but as it is, Van Dorn is making these moves at the moment. It is just a matter of moving him up the order a little bit and then maybe having an early pit stop to get him through the next stint. So he's now pushed his way through the field. He's got past an AlphaTauri as well. He's cleared some of the traffic of these cars that have yet to stop. I'm guessing some of these are going to try a one stop. I wouldn't put it past the AI to go medium. As Vettel is now about to concede this place back to George Russell here. Let's try and get him pushing as well, since we know we can go for another soft now with Vettel, or for a medium tyre if we need to. And that is a prem. We get past Schwartzman, but also does Russell. Come on, Vettel, make this move. There we go. Brilliant. Move through. Still need to figure... Oh, what was that? Have they just both got back past us? Yes, they did. It's too busy looking at the timings down the left-hand side of the screen to see both cars go past then. I'm guessing we're just going to have to push here, aren't we? As Van Dorn is closing up now to Valtteri Bottas. I think we might be in danger of finishing outside the top 10, depending on what the AI does. Ocon goes onto a soft tyre. He might get through to the end of the race here, Albon. No, what am I saying? Who just came in then? Who was I following? Who just came in? Who came in for a soft then? Ocon, yes, Ocon. Might be able to get through to the end of the race on that. Hamilton, it's going to be a little bit touch and go to get that soft through to the end of the race. As it is, Van Dorn is now cooled down. He's pretty close to... that's an Alfa Romeo in front. I look at a red car. I think it's a Prema, but it's not. Vettel, he's running hot at the moment. He's managed to get on to Lando Norris here. Gets past. That is Ocon and Russell in front. Still battling away with Russell here. We're just going to blow through this tyre maybe. See what we can do. Obviously, we're not in the optimum range, so we're not running pretty quick, but we're still making overtakes. So we're possibly going quicker than we should have been going. And there we go. We clear Ocon as well. Can we also clear Pierre Gasly here as Ocon? A lot of movement going on at the moment as Ocon moves through. And what is that? What has happened to Van Dorn? Oh, his tyre degs through the roof. He's complaining. Soft tyres can do 22 now. We know we can get onto that tyre to finish the race. We're just going to keep pushing as it is with Van Dorn. Should we maybe cool for half a lap? And who is that? That is Verstappen in for... That's his first stop. Is he going to be able to one stop this race on that tyre? So we've cooled down a bit now. Let's go to tap mode and we'll see what we're like towards the end of this lap. Vettel is currently running in 10th place, although we do have to pit again with both of our cars. It looks like Ocon is starting to get away a little bit now, so maybe we're going to conserve. Let's back up for a little bit. We'll just back up for a little bit, make sure that we can get in and get on to this super soft to finish the race. And we're almost at that point, but we do want to have some room to push it as well, because we might have to make some moves. We don't have to want to just sit and conserve with that tyre. We want to have some room to push that tyre maybe towards the end of the race. But Van Dorn is now getting away about 6 seconds in front of Vettel. Although he's going to be on the slower tyre on the next stint. Although he is at a... No, he isn't, because I do have to swap for a soft, though. I can't put him in that. He's got to go for the soft tyre. He's going to have a bit of room to go for it. But he's going round. This time we're going to have to cool him down, aren't we? Otherwise he's going to fall off a cliff. And soft and balanced. Van Dorn now should get around before he reaches 15%. There we go, into the pits for Van Dorn. Vettel goes through. Vettel is going to be out on track a little bit longer. He's currently 9th overall. Van Dorn. So Williams that has gone through. That is a Haas that's gone through. And as I thought, some of these cars have gone medium. Have they? Have they gone medium soft? Oh, we could have gone medium soft, couldn't we? But I thought we'd have to be aggressive to make up some of the places on the grid. We could have gone for that. Let's just see what we can get out of this now. It's just a matter of recovering. Ricciardo's in for his second stop, and as we see, Renault have gone, I guess, super soft, 29. He might just make it doing a 2-stop there. Well, Ricciardo, depends how much he's pushing. He's going all out at the moment. You might have to stop with a lap or 2 to go. Crazy strategy once again from Renault. We'll just speed up here for a little bit. We're just waiting until the point where Vettel gets into the pits. We're going to conserve a little bit longer with him, try to get him back down into the optimal range, just get him out of the red zone, and then we'll give him a few laps pushing until he has to come into the pits. Overheated for Stoffel Van Dorn already as well. He's currently battling away, but we've got to conserve on these tyres. And we're going to have to go into fuel recovery, well, not into full fuel recovery mode at the moment, but we will have to at some point in the race. And as we come around now, we're going to get pushing full on attack mode with Sebastian Vettel here. There's nearly 20 seconds between them. Is Vettel going to be able to get out ahead of his teammate here? I think we've got another lap in these tyres. They're overheated, but I think we've got another lap in them. And we can get into a pair of super softs. Possibly going to come out of the pits in not the best of positions, but we know this car is losing performance at the moment. We're going to get a nice new fresh front wing on for the next race. And here is Vettel. Is he going to get out ahead of his teammate? He does. It's actually not too bad there, 13th, but it doesn't look like many of these other cars are going to be coming into the pits. But we do have room to push with the tyres. We don't have the room to push with the fuel though, which is going to be the problem. But Vettel staying out a lot longer has worked in his favour. Alonso is in for his second stop now. Alonso gets out of the pits into 5th place. I'm guessing Verstappen might get to the end of the race here. Mercedes have pulled this out of the bag. Look at them. First and second. It didn't look like that was going to be a possibility, but they've gone for the 1 stop rather than the 2 stop, which the other teams at the top have done. Would be a masterclass from Mercedes. It's not often that we see the AI do such a dramatic difference from each other than Renault, obviously, that go super aggressive. But Vettel, meanwhile, we've got to try and get Vettel past Latifi here so we can get him towards Stroll. There is a Prema in front of that. So there we go. Let's try cool down as well now. We don't have very many laps to try recover this fuel. Maybe Van Dorn is just way out of it here. If we put him into auto, is that going to try recover him? No, it's not. I think Van Dorn's pretty much out of it at the moment, but we've got Vettel to concentrate on here as we go towards the end of the race. Just try to cool down so we can make a run at Lance Stroll. He's on a medium tyre, but that medium looks like it's going to see him through to the end of the race. It is 36%. We never know. The AI might decide to come in and pit. And then there is it's about a 7-second gap, 6 seconds at the moment to Mick Schumacher in front in the points position. I'm not sure that anyone's going to come into the pits that we could potentially pass. But there we go, we're cool now. So let's just get to pushing once again, see if we can make this move on Lance Stroll. And Vettel, I was about to say it makes it look easy, but Lance Stroll gets a little bit of a boost out of the exit of that corner. Gets going, and what is that? Is that Van Dorn complaining that he's super hot again? Let's just put him in conserve. Vettel is running hot, but we do need to clear Lance Stroll. Now it is a matter of chasing down Mick Schumacher if we can. It's now 5.4 seconds. There is not many laps to do it in. We have to be aggressive with fuel recovery soon. Maybe from now. It's going to be pretty close with the fuel recovery, isn't it? I'm going to have to go for it at some point and recover. If we can cool, just give 1 lap going all out, see how close we can get here. We're at 4.5, 3.9. So quick. 3. How much did we take off then? A 131. We're almost 2.4 seconds quicker than that Prema, as Vettel sets the quickest, fastest for third sector. But we do have to, we know we have to go down now. We're going to have to back up a little bit as well. Hopefully we can grab enough fuel back to finish this race. Van Dorn's pretty much at that point that he can run medium from now and finish the race as well. Oh, it's just a fuel load, isn't it? I'm guessing Schumacher, Stroll behind us, has pitted. Is Schumacher, does Schumacher need to pit? I don't think he does. No, he's at 28%. He's starting to get away from us. I don't think this top 10 is going to be in our favour. We have cooled down now though, to the point that we can just sort of push over this last lap. The fuel though is going to go. The fuel's going to go. We're not going to do it. Pushing too hard to get into the top 10. We've risked it all. I think we're gonna make the move. We're gonna get past Schumacher, maybe, but then not be able to hold it, because this fuel is gonna go down this straight now. We're just about to run out of fuel over the last corner, and there it goes. We're gonna finish 11th. Fuel went just down the pit straight. I think that's the first time that we haven't finished in the top 10 for quite a while. As we know, That engine's not as strong at the moment. But we see it, look at that, Mercedes. 1-2. An aggressive one-stop strategy from them. Sees them through to the end of the race. They managed to get a super soft, a medium and a super soft. What did Hamilton actually do? Hamilton went for 2 softs. The cheat. The cheat. I wish you could say it in this game, so the AI teams have to use 2 sets of different compound tyres as well. I mean, we could massively cheat and go medium, medium, and just be able to push and be able to finish the race easily. At least the AI doesn't do that though as well. But soft, soft. It's not really on, is it? That's almost a cheat from Lewis. Look at that. They've managed. Eh. 31 points now between Lewis and Charles Leclerc. That might get closer towards the end of the season. Max is up there in 3rd. Lewis looks like he's put away the challenge at the moment of Max Verstappen, who was hoping to get above Lewis when they're in the same car. As it is, Lewis is still reigning supreme, it seems. If he was in a Ferrari, what would he have done this season against Charles Leclerc? We don't know unless we put Lewis in a Ferrari for next season, do we? But as it is, that's a 43 point gap now over Ferrari. Might be the title race done and dusted unless Mercedes have a nightmare if they qualify like they did in this race. But they went from both cars qualifying outside the top 10 to winning the race. I mean, we're quite far behind now. That is, yeah, we're just so far behind. At least we got 4th place wrapped up, which is a lot better than I thought we would be doing this season. But top 3 was a pipe dream. We thought we'd get it, or we thought we might challenge for it. It looks like we're fading away as the season comes to a close. We came 7th overall in that race, which is not too bad. 1.4 coming out of the bank this time. I'm hoping the prize money is going to be able to top up what we've lost this season. Money's coming out pretty rapidly here, and you can have a quick look at, I think that was Formula 2 there. You can have a quick look if you want to go back and look at that, if you want to pause it. We don't pay attention to it because it doesn't make much sense in the grand overall scheme of things. It's not actually finished in the way I set up this mod. We'll just finish with an interview here. Use team orders. We'll just go with that. Adds a little bit to team marketability. It upsets Stoffel Van Dorn. Stoffel Van Dorn, why would he be upset? Because he was the one that benefited from the team orders. I don't know. But anyway, we've got Brazil coming up next time. It's going to be a rainy race, it looks like. Might be a little bit of chaos and shenanigans there, although it looks like qualifying is going to be sunny. But we've got Brazil coming up next time. It is 10 days game time from this point. I don't know what upgrades the other teams are going to be doing, but since they didn't make any upgrades from this race, I think there's going to be a deluge of upgrades for the next race. But anyway, that is it for this episode. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Your support is much appreciated. Hope you're all staying safe in the current climate out there in the world, but wherever you are, hope you're staying safe. But until next time, see you in Brazil for the Rio de Janeiro Grand Prix. But until then, goodbye.